One of the most important things in understanding Bible prophecy is to understand the Holy Roman Empire. From the outset, let's make sure that we draw a difference between the Holy Roman Empire and the Roman Empire. Many times in the study of Bible prophecy, these two terms are confused. They are not one and the same. So we're going to be looking in this lesson at the prophecy in the Bible of the Roman Empire and the Holy Roman Empire. You know, Eddie, without understanding this, there are so many things that a person just cannot put together in the overall picture of Bible prophecy.
You know, actually, in order to understand Bible prophecy, you have to have some basic knowledge of history. And I'll be honest with you, I think I cut school the day they taught on the Holy Roman Empire. I had no idea what it was. And when I started studying these matters, I started studying the prophecies and started studying your lesson here, on the Holy Roman Empire Revived. I sort of remembered the Holy Roman Empire. And then I went back to the encyclopedia and looked at it, and I found some amazing things. I mean, to know what this one particular empire was all about is to understand one of the greatest prophecies in the Bible.
Well, actually, when I began to study these prophecies, I could not have told you the difference between the Roman Empire and the Holy Roman Empire. However, once I saw what the prophecy said, I began to read the history in order to be able to understand the prophecies. And what I found there was absolutely a revelation. Everything very clear to me. And I was reminded, Eddie, of the time when Daniel said, I understood by the reading of books the 70 years prophesied by Jeremiah the prophet. Unless you know your history, there are some things that you just cannot understand. And so what we're going to try to do in this lesson today is to supply what the Bible says, and also perhaps to be able to give you the historical background so that you'll be able to tap in with us and really understand the prophecy of the Holy Roman Empire. Let me just tell you from the very beginning here. There are two leaders in the Holy Roman Empire, a political leader and a spiritual leader. In the end-time Holy Roman Empire, there's going to be a political leader and a spiritual leader. The Bible calls them the Antichrist and the false prophet. That's the reason this lesson is so important. The prophecy about the Holy Roman Empire is found in Daniel chapter number 2. In order for you to sort of understand what's going on in this particular prophecy, let me give you just a little bit of background. The king at the time was the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar went to bed one night and dreamed a dream. When he awoke the next morning, he remembered that he had dreamed a dream, an unusual dream, but he couldn't remember the dream. Well, normally, if that were you or me, we'd say, well, I wish I could remember that dream, and then we would forget it. However, this man was the mightiest man on the face of the earth, and he was used to getting his way. He also had an entire section of prophets and magicians and wise men on his staff that he fed, clothed, and provided for. So it was his logic that if he was going to take care of these people, they should be able to earn their keep. He called all of them in and said, I had a dream last night, and I want you to tell me what I dreamed and tell me what it meant. Now, one of the wiser men on the staff of wise men stepped forward and said, "Oh, king, it's not a problem whatsoever. You just tell us the dream and we'll tell you exactly what it meant." He was obviously trying to fake his way through here. Sure. So the king came back and said, "Oh, you're all a bunch of fakes. Just like I thought, I told you I cannot remember the dream, and I need for you to tell me the dream and what it means. Now, if you cannot do this, I'm going to get you off my payroll." And the way he was going to get them off of the payroll was to behead all of them. He was just going to kill them, get rid of them, because he was so frustrated with their fakery. Well, there happened to be numbered among the wise men on Nebuchadnezzar's staff some people that came from the nation of Israel when Nebuchadnezzar had conquered the nation of Israel and burnt Jerusalem to the ground. Among these wise men was a man by the name of Daniel. Well, Daniel didn't happen to be present that day when the king made his demand of his staff of magicians. So when they came to get Daniel to put him to death as a member of the wise men's group, he said, "Well, I don't mind dying, but please tell me what this is all about." He heard the story and said, "Stop your annihilation program. I will tell the king what the dream was and make known to him the interpretation thereof. He said, I just need some time to seek my God, because he is the revealer of secrets, and he is the one that makes known the secrets of men's hearts. So that's the way this entire prophecy comes to us. But I promise you, it should not be taken frivolously. It is one of the most incredible, accurate prophecies in the entire Bible, as you're going to see. So let's go now to the prophecy. We're going to Daniel chapter number 2, and we'll begin reading there in verse number 31. Listen to it.
You know, either Daniel here made a really good guess, or he knew. I mean, I would have said the same thing. I would have said, yeah, I'll tell you your dream. I mean, it's either that or you die or you die. It's one or the other.
And then you say, I'll tell you the dream, and then you head for the border.
Yeah, if you can make it. Here we go. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them, and the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth.
Okay.
This is the dream.
This is the dream. And can you imagine what was going on here? While Daniel was telling the dream, have you ever forgotten something and then someone begins to mention it to you and everything comes flooding back? That undoubtedly was happening here. Nebuchadnezzar doesn't think there's anyone in the world that can do this, but here this Hebrew man from the nation of Israel, a captive there, stands before him and says, you dreamed this big image, head of gold, arms and breasts of silver, belly and thighs of brass, legs of iron, feet of iron mingled with clay. And all of it comes flooding back to Nebuchadnezzar. He remembers the dream, and he is absolutely astonished. He said, I remember. You're right, that's it. Now, what this did, this caused the status of Daniel to skyrocket. He was the only one on the face of the earth that could interpret the dream. And it also caused Nebuchadnezzar to have confidence in the interpretation. Now, I hope you'll remember the dream. The image, head of gold, arms and breasts of silver, belly and thighs of brass, legs of iron, feet of iron mingled with clay. Then there came a stone rolling down out of the mountain, smote the image on the feet, until the entire image disintegrated, became like the chaff of the summer threshing floor. The wind came and blew it away. Then the stone grew until it became a great mountain and filled all the earth. Quite a dream. Let's take a look now at the interpretation of the dream.